To insure or not to insure? That is the question. Do you need insurance if you own property in Florida, or for that matter anywhere, right? Well, that all depends. Do you have a mortgage on that property? If you're buying property and you're going to secure financing, the lender in 99.9% of the time is going to require that you have homeowners insurance, at least homeowners insurance, and depending on where you're at, you may actually need flood insurance. So how problematic is that? Well, I just got a call last week from a lady, and she said, I need to sell my home. And I said, well, how long have you owned the house? She said, I just bought it. I said, then why are you selling your house? And she said, well, the payment when I purchased the home was $3,000 a month. And I just got a escrow analysis, and my new payment is going to be $5,000 a month because of the insurance. The insurance has gone up so much that her payment is going from $3,000 a month to $5,000 a month. And she said, I could afford $3,000 a month, but not $5,000. And I just purchased a home. I think this is going to be a short sale. I need to get out from under it, and I'm moving out. So I'm seeing more of that in Florida. The insurance crisis in Florida is real. It's very real. Insurance is high. It's just too high. And why is that? Well, we are in the tropics, and as such, we're subject to a lot of things. But I got to go backwards here a little bit. And I think back in the time when I first purchased my first house, and it was a home that needed, I'd say it needed work, cosmetic work. It was a house that was in foreclosure. We purchased it. We got the payments caught up. We own the house, but now we own a home, but it needs a lot of work, and we can't fix it up. So what do? We just stay there. And in time, the house, I believe, is probably paid off now, and I don't own it anymore, but my ex-wife does, and I think it's giving her cash the rest of her life. So it was a good investment. But that initial hardship of buying a house that needed a lot of work was challenging. And where does this tie in with insurance? Well, my neighbor across the street was getting all brand new carpet. Back then, carpet was a thing, but you think, oh, wow, wouldn't it be nice to have all new carpet? And we said, how are you getting new carpet? He said, well, the insurance company is paying for it. How is the insurance company paying for you to get new carpet? He said, well, it's easy. We called them up. We said a friend came over and spilled Kool-Aid all over it. We can't have it won't clean out, and they're gonna pay for all our new carpet. Insurance fraud, right? Well, from that point on, the insurance fraud awareness was consistent. I knew of another neighbor that during a storm was up on their roof ripping off shingles so they could ask for a brand new roof. And I think of all the people that have had new roofs, it's funny how they get new roofs right when they need new roofs, and the insurance company was paying for it. Now, my vibe, I've never been comfortable with stuff like that. It's not my place, but I would never ask the insurance company to buy a new roof for me, even though if I needed it, or make up some claim. Now, in Florida, we get storms all the time, and there are legitimate situations where you need a new roof. And there was one situation where I benefited from the insurance in a big way, and I owned 2 houses in Port Charlotte right when Hurricane Charlie came through. And I had one home in particular. It was about 15 years old, and honestly, it needed a new roof. It was getting to the life cycle. It did not leak, but at that point, a new roof would cost about $10,000. I didn't have it. I wasn't in a hurry to get a new roof. And then here comes Hurricane Charlie. Well, after the hurricane literally took off half the shingles of the roof. Every other shingle looked like it had been ripped off from the hurricane, and I wasn't up there. But the insurance company paid for it. And my deductible at that time was $1,000. So I paid $1,000 and I got a brand new roof. And I thought, well, that was a good deal for me. Thank you for the insurance company. But I wasn't trying to defraud them out of a new roof. It was circumstantial. But all in all, when you look at all these insurance fraud, And basically most of it that I see, that I'm aware of in the time that I've owned homes, has been roof fraud. I see more insurance roof fraud than any situation. I knew of one past customer. He was financially in a hardship situation. He said, I need some money. I'm going to fake a robbery at my house, and the insurance company will pay for it. And basically he had to claim that somebody had broken in, stolen all his valuables, and he got a police report, sent it to his insurance company, and got a check. Now, I can't verify all that, but just the idea of that is criminal, right? And I asked him where he learned that from, and he said he learned it from his mom. So, when you hear of all these situations with insurance fraud, who's paying for it? Now we have insurance that's through the roof, and we do have rules that are in place that people think are ridiculous, like your roof has to be 10 years old to get insurance on a new home. I actually understand that one, and it's difficult to digest because a new roof's a lot of money. I mean, they have doubled in price in the last maybe 6 years. So roofs are expensive, and insurance is there to cover if you need it, but not to commit fraud. So again, do you need insurance? Well, interesting enough, about 25%, they estimate about 25% of people in Florida do not carry homeowners insurance. And how can you do that? Well, if you don't have a mortgage on your property, if you have it free and clear, you're not required to have homeowners insurance. If you own your house in a trust, an LLC, there's ways you may be protected from that, from liability issues, but the cost of insurance has gotten too much. And it's not necessarily a choice people want to make if they can avoid insurance. So how does that work? If you have a mortgage, you have to have insurance. Now let's just say your mortgage is $100,000 and your lot is worth $400,000. Do you still need insurance? Your lender is requiring insurance. Doesn't matter how much you owe on the mortgage, they're requiring insurance, whether you want to have it or not. And is it a good idea not to have insurance? Well, you have to look at it. I look at it from a business perspective. It's all about calculated risk. I had a conversation the other day with one of my clients, and he said, Troy, I just can't wait to pay this house off because the first thing I'm going to do is cancel the insurance. And I said, what are you going to do to insure yourself? How are you going to protect your house? He said, it's real simple. I'm going to take the money that I would normally pay the insurance company, I'm going to put it in an annuity, and if I ever need it, it will be there to help the claim. So basically, self-insure, and that's what people are doing. That's why 25% of the people estimate are not getting insurance in Florida. They're self-insuring. But they can only do that if you don't have a mortgage. And self-insurance means you're taking a calculated risk. You're risking that if you need something done, that you're going to have the money to pay it. Now, where that seems to make a lot of sense here in Florida is our property values have gone up so much, especially in real nice areas. It's real common in our area, especially here in Sarasota, where your property is worth a lot. So whether the house is on there or not, the value is still the same because it's in the location that people want. So it really doesn't matter if there's a house or not. The value is not going to change that much because the value is in the dirt. In that situation, if a hurricane were to destroy your house, if the value of the property is still the same, whether the house is damaged or not, doesn't make any sense to get insurance. And that's why I think we're seeing so many people not get insurance. It's not the calculated risk that you need. Because when you think about insurance, break it down. Your property is worth a certain amount of money. The land has value, and the structure, even in a hurricane, it should be salvageable at some point. What is that value? If you're insuring for more than that, you're paying for something you may not need. Lenders are going to require it because it insures their interests. They need to know that if the house was destroyed, the house could be rebuilt, and they're not going to lose money on their lending ability. To a homeowner that doesn't have financing on their property, it's all about calculated risk. So how do you get your insurance down? Well, the easiest way is to try to self-insure as much as you can. And how do you do that? Increase the deductible if you can afford that risk. So if you're allowed to increase the deductible on your house, that will lower your insurance, meaning that if there is a claim, you're going to be responsible for that deductible. So that's one way in the short term. Now, is that a good idea? Well, it's everyone's perspective is different, but if it means that you can't afford the home or you can afford the home, if you can stay in your home, stay in your home, and hopefully the insurance situation should get better. It's a big problem. But the other issue here that people kind of don't think about when they think of insurance is insurance in Florida is high. It's higher than anywhere in the United States, from what I understand, because we are in the tropics and we're prone to weather issues. However, property taxes typically are lower here than other parts of the United States. So you have to look at the big picture. What is it costing to own a home if you need a mortgage? If you need homeowners insurance, what is the total picture with your insurance plus your taxes? If you look at the big picture, it may not seem as much. I'm surprised at how much property taxes are in other states. Of course, in Florida, we don't have income tax. So you got to look at the whole picture. But insurance has been a problem. Should you get insurance or not get insurance? You may not have a choice. And if you do have a choice, you have to look at the calculated risk of whether that's a good idea or not. So in closing, my name is Troy Funk. I am the broker of Realty One Group Skyline on the central west coast of Florida. Our company, our corporate company, Realty One Group, has 29 offices in the state of Florida. So I can help you with all your real estate needs in Florida. Or my name, Troy Funk, will give you access to homes that are for sale or resale throughout the whole entire state of Florida. So I hope I've been helpful to you. Let me know what you think about insurance. Would certainly like your feedback. Again, if I've been helpful, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and I wish you well.